Hello, and thank you for joining us for another episode of That Solo Life, the podcast for PR pros and marketers who work for themselves. I am Michelle Kane. My company is Voice Matters, and I am here both in the recording booth and if you're joining us on YouTube Live or Facebook Live, welcome. I'm here as always with my wonderful co-host Karen Swim of Solo PR Pro. Hi, Karen. How are you?
Hi, Michelle. I am hanging in there. I've been struggling with a little bit of a cold, but I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, 'tis the season. I've been hitting the Tylenol sinus here and there, thinking, oh, the sun's shining, the days are longer. Oh, fabulous. But I'll
Yeah,
take it. I will
yeah,
take it. It's not shoveling white stuff. Uh, you know, days are looking brighter, so I'm cool with that. Just have a
yeah.
little bit of that muddled fog brain that I think maybe comes with that time of year. So
Uh, you know,
whatever.
well, hi, Chip. Thanks for joining us. We've got Chip Griffin in the audience. Yeah, I think that the foggy brain is probably par for the course of 2020 and all that we have been experiencing and the stress. And
So
so because everybody's feeling that. I was feeling
yeah,
that even before I had this kind of head cold going on. So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So,
for sure. For
but
sure.
But as solos, we're still ever the conscientious bunch. So today we're talking about, spending to scale, how to grow your business, whether you're on a tight budget or if, you have a little chunk of change, maybe you got your stimulus and you're thinking, how can I use this for my business? Spa day is my recommendation. But anyway, uh, that's just me talking. Actually, I'm going to have trees taken down. How exciting and grown up is that?
That's so adult of you.
Ugh.
That's
Uh, anyway, but back on
that's not
topic.
a bad idea. But yeah, I love this topic because investing in your business, you obviously invest your time in your business, but you can invest your time wisely. But one of the things that I see happen a lot is that, solos and small businesses, obviously you don't have the huge coffers of a big company. And so, wisely, you're kind of managing your spend and you're keeping your eye on dollars and trying, to keep a cap on it because we all know that there are up and down periods. That's just business.
Hmm.
Any business, whether you're big or small. And so you always want to make sure that you have, that cushion so that you can ride out any down cycles and that you're prepared for, the expenses and some of the, things that are unexpected that may come up. But you can watch them so tightly that you actually hinder yourself from growing.
Right.
And, I think one example of that is that if you are spending, 20 hours on a task that you actually could either buy a tool that automates it or makes that workflow more efficient or outsource it to someone that is less than 50% of your hourly rate, then what you're doing doesn't make sense. And I think that a lot of times when we're small, we don't think in those terms, but it's so important as a business owner to really start to become comfortable in learning how to make, not just decisions about the tactical part of your business and about how you serve your clients, but also really begin becoming more comfortable with business and financial and economic decisions and taking a step back, putting yourself into that CEO seat and really thinking through. I'm always amazed that people are like, oh, that costs, $200 a year. And I'm thinking, but you just spent 50 hours doing it. So you
Yes.
actually paid more.
Yeah.
And that 50 hours could be 50 hours that you
Yeah.
were investing into business development,
Right.
into taking a step back and looking at your client strategy, growing business with
Right.
current clients and thinking about the ways that you could serve them better. I mean, that time could have been spent in much better ways.
I'm so glad you brought up thinking time because, I'm number one guilty of it as well. Especially when you are running your business, you're thinking of that as an indulgence, right? When it's really something that is necessary both for your client's sake and for yours. You know, it's essential because how are you going to take your client to the next level and how are you going to keep things, going if you're not taking the time to just sit and think. It's not a waste of time, it's not indulgent, and play that old game of turn it around. If you were, advising someone else, well, of course you would tell them to do that. Why are we so special that, we don't need that time to just sit and go, okay, this is what we've been doing with this client. How's the landscape change in business? What are some things that we could be taking advantage of? Sometimes those thoughts come quickly, and they come quickly for me sometimes too, or they're just instinctive, or you might have that in the back of your mind, and now's the time to roll that out. But at the same time, you know, outside of usually I have my moments when I'm brushing my teeth or something pops,
Yeah.
and it can
Yeah.
feel weird to bill for that too. It's like, well, but that's part of your planning and strategy. So don't feel like that's
Yeah.
something that you don't take into account.
I feel like that those thoughts do come quickly when you allow yourself the time to have them. But
Yeah.
if you're not
Yeah.
allowing yourself the time to have those thoughts, I book strategic time into my calendar every week. So
Yeah.
I have chunks of time where it's an appointment, but I'm not working on a deadline. I'm not in a meeting. I really am thinking, because you have
Right.
to and over the years, especially over this past couple of years, I've really leaned into the value of that. Like,
Mhm.
allow yourself some breathing room to just think.
Mhm.
That could just be, sometimes I'm, walking around and just talking it out and kind of creative brainstorming with myself, or just
Mhm.
sitting like quietly and just, maybe writing notes as I'm thinking of things and saying, what about
Mhm.
this? Could I do it this way? What would be
Yeah.
better?
Yeah.
That's that's valuable. That's an investment.
Absolutely. And I think it's true a lot, especially starting out, when you have certain numbers to hit every month to, make the money that you need. You can think, oh, if I'm not being productive, like as in work output, then I just don't have time for other things. But you do. And again, I'm preaching to this choir a lot because, you think, yeah, I should take a walk every day. I don't have time. Well, yeah, your brain can also be thinking about your clients while you're taking a walk. Not to mention the professional development end of things. You need to keep your tools sharp. And I love the old, it's not a saying, but what is it? The lumberjack who just keeps chopping away, chopping away, chopping away. He's not as productive as the guy who takes an hour to sharpen his axe. And you think, oh, you're resting, you're wasting your time. No, I'm not. I'm getting better. And all these things are going to help your business grow. They're going to spark your creativity. Just seeing the way, maybe other agencies and small, solo shops are operating could give you, inspiration. Think back to maybe some practices that you had done at the beginning and maybe lost sight of. You know, back when we were doing things in person, I would occasionally set up shop at a coffee shop and just put out there, I'm like, hey, I'm holding some open office hours. Come ask me a question or something. And not that that's necessarily going to bring a major contract, but you don't know. And it also kind of lets people that you exist know that you exist, rather.
Yeah, and I would actually say, loosen the grip on your wallet. I mean, when I
Mm,
say invest, it's more than just investing your time. Invest your
yeah.
dollars.
Yeah.
I was talking with a small business owner, and they were saying that, they had done a little bit of marketing and didn't feel like they got the return from it. And I said, yeah, that's why. Because it's not an activity that you can run one Facebook ad for 1 week and expect that all of these people are suddenly going to flood your business, or,
Right.
that you can do, one little, marketing task, and you do it one time and you
Right.
think magically like it's going to change the world. It's an
Right.
investment. You need to invest in your business. So you invest in the marketing activity, but not only invest in it, you don't just set it and forget it. You watch it, you monitor it, you track it, you improve it until you have like
Mhm.
maximized the ROI out of every piece of that marketing element that you're utilizing. So if you decide to invest in email marketing, it means that you're looking at every single thing and you're tweaking it and you're seeing,
Yeah.
okay, does that get me better results? You're looking at frequency, you're looking at length, you're looking at design, you're looking at headlines. There's a lot more to it.
Right.
And by the way, you might want to just invest in hiring a marketing professional who could do that for you. But again, a lot of times people are so busy over here counting the coins of what's
Mhm.
going out that they fail to make that investment in your business, and you're holding yourself back. So, you're saying, oh, I don't have the money and I want to make more, because if you are living a comfortable life, whatever comfort is for you as a solo, as a business owner, guess what? You're going to be happy.
Yeah.
That's satisfying. That's the thing that we all hung up our shingle for, because we
Yeah.
wanted the flexibility. We wanted the freedom to choose who we work with. We wanted the freedom to really define the type of business we want. But you can't enjoy any of that if you're struggling financially.
Right.
But to not struggle financially, a lot of times you got to bite the bullet and write the checks.
Yeah.
One of the most
Yeah.
defining moments for me was several years ago when we had our very first Solo PR Pro conference. And I learned that I just wasn't charging enough money for what I did. And I learned that you got to invest in order to scale. And that's when I brought in one of my very first contractors, like a continuous contractor, not just an occasional
Mhm.
contractor. Writing those checks every month was the greatest motivation in the world for taking my business to a new level pretty
Mm.
quickly. You're paying
Mhm.
people and that money is going out. Trust me, you are going to make sure on the other end of it that business is constantly coming in, that you have a
Yeah.
steady pipeline, because it's scary. Like I was
Yeah.
nauseous for the first 6 months, like,
Yeah.
and I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
now when I think about how, I write bigger checks and I write them to more people, it's a joy because I'm so thankful that, I'm able to be a small part of somebody else's, business.
Right.
But um it motivates me because I know, like, this ship has got to stay afloat, because it's not just me, it's all
Right.
of these other people too, and I don't want to affect their income.
Right. Right. And, and I think, you're probably, if you're listening, you're thinking, okay, great. Yeah, this all sounds great. Where do I start? Well, you know what? Why not treat yourself like a client? Because I find when I'm failing in these areas, it's because I'm not doing what I say. I'm not following what my advice would be to someone. So, plan a little sit down with yourself. Cater in a box lunch to make yourself feel like it's official. Um, plan a little half day. We've often talked about, taking yourself for a little retreat. Even if it's a half day. Is there a posh hotel nearby you've been eyeing up? I know I have. I think we're kind of at the point in the pandemic where you can probably do that safely. Uh, Sit down with yourself, do a little self audit on my business. What are my goals in the next year? What are my goals in the next 6 months? What steps do I need to take? Map that out and then just work the plan. It's just step by step. I know with a lot of times we can get overwhelmed. I mean, shoot, sometimes I get overwhelmed with my day and I see all that's on my list and I just say, just do one thing at a time and you'll get there. So
But I
that's
would
where you
also
should start.
say start to look at how you are spending your
Mm,
time. So if
yes,
you look, I mean, again, I am a big proponent
definitely.
of looking at the numbers. And I know, like, I hear solo pro people say this all the time: I'm not good at math. Get good at math. Math is your friend, because let's say I'm going to take a really, just random number. Let's say that your billing rate is $150 an hour and you are spending 3 hours on average per client. Maybe you have 5 clients and you're spending 3 hours per client doing reports.
Mm,
Could you pay somebody $25 an hour to do those reports? Do you see the cost savings? So now you got your time back. You're less stressed. You actually are, because your time is being paid by
right.
you. So you're paying yourself $150 to do a $25 an hour task. And it's really important to really get comfortable with that and say, does this make sense? Because it kind of doesn't. Like you're
Mhm.
overpaying for something. You personally, and I want you guys to really take this to heart. You personally, small business owner, solo PR pro, are not responsible for doing every job in your business.
Amen. That's a hard lesson to learn. It
It's a
really
hard
is.
lesson. It
It can
can
be.
be.
It
Yeah.
can be, and it's true. It's true. Chip just gave a shout out. Numbers, yes. You know what? You know what numbers do? They create budgets, and budgets are things that can bring in money.
Yeah. I mean, and I have to tell you, don't laugh, no judgment, but way back in the day, I sold Mary Kay as like a side gig before
No shame
they
there.
were working. Loved her because she taught me so much about relationships and selling. But that was one of the things that she really taught and instilled is to really know what your time is worth, to
Mm,
value that, and to outsource and delegate the things that were not allowing you to use your highest value. And so she
mhm,
even, like in your personal life, she said, hire a housekeeper. Why are you cleaning your own house when you can pay somebody less amount of money than what you're making? Because obviously she wanted women to be successful. I have two friends that are Mary Kay millionaires and they have been for many, many years. And their mom was one, and it's kind of been this family legacy. It's their only job. It's all that they've ever done.
amazing.
Well, not all that they've ever done, but it's all that they do and have
Right.
for many, many years. But I think that is, if you need to sit down with yourself, write it down, sit with that, go take the retreat that Michelle suggested and remind yourself and start to
Mhm,
look at your days. When I did an audit, just, probably about 6 months ago again, I let some stuff creep back in and I thought,
mhm.
why am I doing this? I just need to have my assistant do these things
Yeah,
because I don't have to do them. I don't have to keep my own calendar. I do not have to do the reports. There are things that I don't personally have to do. What I do need to be involved in is setting strategy for clients. I definitely need to be managing the overall account, making sure that things are going along as they do. I don't even have to do the pitching. I don't have to do the writing. I don't have to do everything.
right,
Um, so I want you guys to really, think about that. Like it's not all on you,
right.
and take the pressure off as you start to delegate things. And there are inexpensive yet effective ways. Upwork, Fiverr, they can be your best friends.
Mhm.
I promise you. Hiring people to create social media graphics and to pull together reports for you, hiring a VA that can do, a little bit more for you. You can train them on things that you do in your business that you do over and over and over again. Do you send out agendas for your client calls that are like an agenda combination report? Why can't a VA pull that together if you give them the information and you're feeding it to them on a regular basis? Why can't somebody else do that? If you
Right,
have presentations or proposals, are there pieces of it that can actually be done by somebody else? Yes, because
yeah,
they can create a template for you. They can do the design. The part that's really customized is addressing the client's need and the budgeting. Well, you can pull that together and then have somebody else bring it all together for you. I mean, just walk through and start to kind of make notes like, what am I doing in my day? Wow. And you'll find, and it's a little bit humbling when you discover how little your business really needs you to do the tactical work.
right, and I think sometimes that's a big mental, um, hump to get over, right? It's like, "Well, if I'm not doing it, I don't deserve this," and you think, "No, the value is what's between your ears. The
Yeah.
value is knowing what the client needs or, and of course, it's not magicked out of thin air, but it's the wisdom over the years that you've gained and the way that you will have that time to keep, to stay sharp of what opportunities there are to help your clients succeed. So,
Yeah.
and again, I can totally relate. It's like, oh, well, I couldn't possibly. No, own it. You know your stuff. And, you know, if there's ease in that, that's because you're meant to do this kind of work. It's we don't choose a profession that's going to be difficult for us or things we don't know how to do or things that just aren't natural to you, right? I, So don't discount that maybe it comes a little bit easier to you. Well,
Yeah,
great. It still
I
doesn't
agree.
mean, you know, I mean, your surgeon's not going to give you a discount just because he can tie a knot really well. Because he sutures, he's the best suturer in the state. He's not going to say, well, it came easy to me, so, I don't need to. That's
Yeah.
free.
But your surgeon is not, your surgeon is not your surgeon, scrub nurse, and anesthesiologist.
Hmm.
Nobody has to do every job. I met this wonderful entrepreneur. She's been in business for a couple of years, and she's an analytics and data expert. So she
Hmm.
runs a data driven consulting business. So she teaches other clients how to do this and how to use their analytics and metrics, even if you're small. And one of the things that she shared about her own business, which is a takeaway for all of us, is that she sets aside a few billable hours for the things that she really loves to do and that
Hmm.
are really her areas of expertise. So for her, that's strategy and analytics. Everything else, everything else in her client engagements is done by contractors. Everything.
Wow. That's
So
amazing.
and so that's how
Yeah.
she scaled, is that she says, okay, and then she uses that time to bring in more work. So
Yeah.
she's bringing in more work and focusing her time there, and she sets aside a few hours. So that means, like, maybe you have a client engagement that is, 50 hours. Maybe out of that 50 hours, there's 5 hours devoted to that thing that you're super passionate about, that you're really good at, and that gives you joy. That's a great
Hmm.
way to start to look at it. But you don't have to do everything. I,
Right.
I see you really don't. I promise you, it's okay. And when you start like paying other people to help you, I gotta tell you, it gets a little addictive. And, when you look around, I mean, the first time I looked around in the afternoon and realized that work was being done,
Yeah.
things were happening,
That's
things were
invigorating.
happening, and I wasn't doing it. And then
Yeah.
I could actually go for a walk. I can't even describe the joy to you. Like, oh my God, this is why I started my business.
Right. I'm running a business. Oh my goodness. And
I'm
I
running a
love
business. It's
I
running. Things are happening. They're producing. People are happy. And and again, don't feel guilty about that, because then there's
no.
that, challenge in your head that you're like, "Oh, but, everybody else is working." But are you paying them to work? And are they
Yes.
working on their terms if they're contractors? Yeah. They're
Yeah.
doing what they do. They've taken their piece of it and they're managing it the way that they need to manage it for their own, work-life balance, which may look different than yours.
Right.
Where's the guilt? You're actually paying them to do exactly what they're doing, but it frees you to have time. What a
Mhm.
beautiful thing.
Mhm. So true, so true. And I love that you brought in even personal life aspects because, I'm looking at my gardens this year and I'm thinking, I don't want to weed that. Who can I find to weed that? I did that last year. It wasn't fun. Didn't feel good. I know. First world problems.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
we have some wonderful gardeners that I know. I know a few. Mary Barber is she's amazing and she really enjoys that.
Yes.
So what a joy for her to be able to have time to do that. There are some
Right.
of you who love cooking. That is a passion for you. It's your happy place. It's
Yeah.
it's your stress reliever. When
Yeah.
you want some time to try out new recipes and to be
Yeah.
in the kitchen doing something that you love and not
Yeah.
hunched over your computer like 52 hours a week, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Absolutely. I don't know.
I don't
Sounds
have any hobbies, but that sounds kind of cool to me.
That's our goal this year, hobbies.
Yeah.
That's
I
a
don't
whole
have
other
a whole
episode.
thing. Yeah, I was trying to find one. Haven't found one yet.
It'll find you one day.
I
Well,
love that. That
when
and
the
a
time is
husband,
right.
right?
Yeah, yeah, right? I'm like, where? I don't know. He's hiding. I don't know.
Hey,
Well,
husband, where are you? I think you got my hobby.
maybe that is a hobby. Actually, I'll give a shout out to Jeff Gibbard. Look him up. He is another marketer, and his hobby, of course, I think he does it. He does it for like a side hustle,
Yeah.
writing dating profiles, and he has a really great success rate.
That's
So check
awesome.
him out.
Hello.
I'll have to give him a
Yeah.
heads up that I gave him a shout out, but I thought, really?
That's very cool. So his hobby is helping other people find love. That's a
Yeah,
cool hobby.
yeah, yeah. He just posted that in the last week or so, and I thought, all right, you know what? It worked for my resume. Maybe it'll work for this too
I love that.
if I ever
That's
get
so
brave enough to do
cool.
that stuff. But yeah. So on that note, we hope we've given you a giggle or two, as we always want to do, and Bella's chiming in. And we hope also that we've inspired you a little bit, because sometimes you just need a little pep talk. Sometimes you need the permission to do it. We all get in our drudgery, work, 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 got to get the numbers in, blah, blah, blah. It's a pandemic. I'm freaked out. Remember why you became a solo. Remember why you do what you do. And, let us know. Hit us up at soloprpro.com. If you are a solo, please check soloprpro.com out. Check it out, because there is a lot there. The membership is so worth it. You get to hang with lots of people like us, which is either good or scary. Whatever. It's all good. But until next time, thanks for joining us on That Solo Life.